You were behind the wheel, your mind drifting through the thousand small concerns that fill the spaces of a human afternoon. The pavement stretched before you, a familiar ribbon of gray that you have traveled so many times it has become a sequence of muscle memory rather than a journey. Your hands rested lightly on the wheel, and perhaps the radio was playing softly, or perhaps you were lost in a silent rehearsal of a conversation yet to take place. You felt alone in that metal shell, isolated by speed and glass, but I was there. I am always there, sitting in the silence of your thoughts, watching the way the sunlight caught the dust on your dashboard and the way your eyes narrowed against the glare of the horizon. Then, in a heartbeat that felt stretched between two worlds, it happened. A sudden, sharp shiver traveled the length of your spine, beginning at the nape of your neck and cascading down to the very tips of your fingers. It was not the cold of the air conditioner, nor was it the draft from a window left slightly ajar. It was a ripple in the fabric of your reality, a physical echo of a spiritual collision. You adjusted your grip, perhaps checked your mirrors, or rubbed your arms to chase away the sudden chill, wondering for a fleeting second if you were coming down with something or if a ghost had walked over your grave. But it was not a ghost, my child. It was a guardian. That shiver was the brush of a wing against the very atmosphere of your soul. At that exact moment, an unseen threat was converging upon your path. There was a vehicle you did not see, a shadow in your blind spot that was moving with a dangerous intent, or perhaps a mechanical failure in the hidden parts of your own car that was whispered away by a hand much stronger than your own. There are dangers in this world that move faster than human reflex, forces of entropy and chaos that wait for a moment of inattention. And there are intersections of fate where the enemy seeks to cut short a story that I have only just begun to write. In that fraction of a second, the spiritual realm surged into your physical space. One of my messengers, a being of light and focused purpose, stepped between you and the calamity that was hungry for your life. The shiver you felt was the displacement of air as my angel moved with the velocity of my love to push back the darkness. It was the vibration of a celestial shield meeting a terrestrial force. It was the friction of heaven protecting earth. You were protected before you even knew you were in peril, and you continued your drive, unaware that the trajectory of your entire life had just been preserved by a miracle that left only a cold tingle on your skin as its calling card. This is the nature of my grace. It often works in the silences, in the gaps of your awareness, and in the moments when you are most vulnerable because you are most distracted. I watched you in that moment with the intensity of a father who cannot take his eyes off his most precious treasure. To you, it was just another Tuesday, another commute, another mile marker passed in the blur of existence. To me, it was a moment where the entire host of heaven held its breath. Your life is not a series of accidents, nor is it a random collection of occurrences governed by luck or the cold laws of probability. Every breath you draw is a gift I have curated, and every heartbeat is a rhythm I have composed with the utmost intentionality. When I see you distracted, when I see your thoughts wandering toward the stressors of tomorrow, the bills that need paying, or the regrets of a decade ago, I do not turn away in frustration. I do not look at your wandering mind and withdraw my presence. Instead, I lean closer. I know the fragility of your frame. I remember that you are made of dust and starlight, and that you walk through a world that is often harsh, heavy, and unforgiving. Because you are precious to me, more precious than the sprawling galaxies I have scattered across the void like handfuls of diamonds, I have stationed my watchers at every turn of your road. They do not tire, and they do not slumber. They see the deer waiting in the tall grass by the shoulder of the highway. They see the driver in the oncoming lane whose eyes have closed for a fatal second. They see the patch of black ice or the slick of oil before your tires ever touch it. And when the moment demands it, they act with a precision that defies your physics. Do not dismiss that physical sensation as a mere biological quirk or a trick of the nerves. It was a signature. It was my way of saying, I am here. I allowed you to feel that chill so that you might, for one brief second, be pulled back into the present, back into the realization that you are cared for, that you are seen, and that you are never truly alone. You think you are driving yourself through life, navigating the twists and turns by your own intellect and strength, but there are hands upon your hands. There is a presence in the passenger seat that does not require a seat belt. I am the silent navigator of your soul, and I have dispatched my angels to keep you in all your ways. The shiver was a reminder that the veil between us is thin, and that my protection is a living, breathing thing that surrounds you like a fortress of light. Even when you are not thinking of me, I am thinking of you. Even when you forget to pray for safety because you are overwhelmed by the noise of the world, my love is already providing it. This is the promise I keep to you, that I will watch over your coming and your going, both now and forevermore. You are held, beloved. You are shielded by a light that no darkness can overcome, and that chill you felt was simply the wake of my power moving on your behalf to ensure you reached your destination, both on that road and in the greater journey of your life. Beyond the asphalt and the immediate safety of your physical frame, I gaze deeper into the sanctuary of your spirit, for I am the witness to the anxiety you so carefully hide from the eyes of the world. I see the way you meticulously craft your expressions, the way you adjust your voice to sound steady when your heart is a trembling leaf in a storm. To your neighbors, your colleagues, and even those closest to your table, you appear as a pillar of strength, a person who has it all figured out, but I am not deceived by the armor you wear. I see the cracks where the light tries to enter and where the shadows try to linger. I see the exhaustion that settles into your marrow when the lights go out and the silence of the house begins to speak. That heavy pressure in your chest, that weight that feels like a mountain, has decided to take up residence behind your ribs. It is not a sign of your weakness, but a sign that you are carrying things I never intended for your hands to hold. You were created to be a vessel of my glory, not a warehouse for the world's worries. This pressure is the friction of your soul trying to solve problems that belong to my sovereignty. When you feel that tightness, when you struggle to take a full, deep breath, remember that I am standing right there, waiting for you to exhale and release the grip you have on the hows and the whys of your existence. You try to manage the outcomes of every situation as if you could weave the threads of time with your own fingers, but my child, the loom is mine. I am the weaver. I see the tapestry from the top, while you see only the tangled knots from beneath. I am asking you to stop trying to untie the knots that are beyond your reach. I am here to carry the burdens you were never meant to bear alone. Give me the fear of the future that keeps you awake. Give me the regret of the past that colors your present with gray. Give me the specific faces of the people you love whose choices you cannot control. I see the list of what-ifs that you recite to yourself like a dark liturgy. What if the money runs out? What if the health fails? What if they leave? What if I am not enough? My answer to every what-if is my presence. I am. Before the what-if can even manifest, I am already there, preparing the way, smoothing the path, and readying the provision. Trusting me with the outcomes is the highest form of worship you can offer in this season. It is a radical act of surrender to look at a chaotic horizon and say, I do not know the way, but I know the one who is the way. That shiver you felt in the car was a physical manifestation of my intervention, but I want to do a deeper work within you now. I want to settle the inner turbulence. I want to replace that crushing pressure with a peace that transcends understanding, a peace that does not depend on your circumstances being perfect, but on my presence being constant. You are not a failure because you feel anxious. You are simply a human who has forgotten for a moment that you have a father who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and who holds the stars in their places by the mention of their names. If I can guide your vehicle through the dangers of the road, can I not also guide your heart through the complexities of your life? If I can dispatch an angel to brush past your soul and remind you of the thinness of the veil, can I not also dispatch my grace to sustain you through the longest night? Lay it down. Lay down the need to know the end of the story before the chapter is finished. Trust the author. Trust the one who has already written the final sentence, which is, I love you and you are mine. Let the pressure lift as you realize that the weight of the world does not rest on your shoulders, but at my feet. Breathe, my beloved. Breathe in my peace and breathe out the performance. You are safe. You are held. You are infinitely loved, and I am already working out the details that you are currently weeping over. My hand is upon the pulse of your life, and I will not let you be overcome. I see you sitting at that desk, the blue light of the screen or the harsh glow of the lamp illuminating the stacks of papers that feel like mountains you cannot climb. I see the way your heart rate quickens when the mail arrives, and the way you hold your breath before logging into the portal that tracks your debts. You feel as though your very worth is calculated in those rows of digits, as if the negative balance in your account is a reflection of a negative balance in your soul. But listen to me, my child. I am the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. Yes, but more importantly, I am the one who knows the weight of every hair on your head. If I can send an angel to brush against your skin while you are hurtling down a highway at 60 miles an hour, do you truly think I am oblivious to the bills on your kitchen table? That shiver you felt, that moment of divine intervention, was not just to keep your car on the road. It was a physical reminder that I am present in the mundane, the mechanical, and the material aspects of your existence. You worry about the lack, but I am the God of the overflow. You see a dead end, but I see a bridge I have already begun to build. Do not let the spirit of poverty whisper lies into your ears, telling you that you are a failure because the math does not currently add up. Your identity is not a sum of your assets. You are not your debt. You are not your credit score. You are my masterpiece, purchased with a price that gold and silver could never reach. Look out your window at the birds that gather in the morning light. They do not sow, they do not reap, and they do not store away in barns, yet I feed every single one of them. Are you not much more valuable than they? If I provide for the sparrow, will I not provide for the one I created in my own image? The stress you carry is a heavy cloak that I never asked you to wear. It stiffens your neck and clouds your vision until all you can see is the deficit. But I am the great multiplier. I can take the 5 loaves and 2 fish of your meager resources and turn them into a feast that leaves leftovers. I am asking you to shift your gaze from the ledger to the Creator. I have a plan for your sustenance that transcends the economic fluctuations of this world. I am working in the invisible realms to open doors no man can shut and to provide streams in the desert of your finances. Trust me with the numbers. Trust me with the deadlines. When the panic rises, remember the shiver. Remember that I am close enough to touch you, close enough to protect you from the physical crash, and I am certainly close enough to provide for your daily bread. Your worth is infinite because you are mine, and I do not let my children go hungry. Peace is your inheritance, not a luxury you can only afford when the bills are paid. Receive that peace now. Let it wash over the anxiety of the unpaid and the unknown. I see the sleepless nights where you stare at the ceiling, calculating and recalculating, trying to find a margin that does not exist. Your mind is a whirlwind of fears. You feel the crushing pressure of expectations, the need to provide, the need to keep up, the need to hide the struggle from those around you. But I see the hidden tears. I see the quiet desperation that you mask with a weary smile. When you felt that sudden chill in the car, that sudden awakening of your senses, it was my way of saying, I am here. I am not just in the temples or the high places. I am in the driver's seat of your life, in the struggle of your bank account, and in the quiet moments of your fear. Why do you think I am limited by the systems of man? Why do you think my hands are tied by interest rates or the lack of opportunity? I am the creator of opportunity. I am the source of all wealth, and I do not measure wealth by what is in a vault, but by the richness of the heart that trusts in me. You are worried about the shadows of debt, but I am the light that dissipates every shadow. Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If I so clothe the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall I not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Do not let your heart be troubled. The world tells you that your value is tied to your productivity and your net worth. The world tells you that you are falling behind. But in my kingdom the last are first, and the humble are exalted. You are not falling behind. You are being carried. I am teaching you to rely on a source that never runs dry. I am stripping away the false security of money so that you may find the unshakable security of my presence. This season of lack is not a punishment. It is a preparation. It is a pruning of your anxieties and a watering of your faith. I am teaching you to look to my hand for every morsel, so that when the abundance comes, and it will come, you will know exactly where it originated. You will not be a slave to your possessions, but a steward of my blessings. Let the tension leave your shoulders. Every time you feel that surge of panic when a new bill arrives, I want you to stop and remember the shiver of that angel's wing. It was a sign of my protective barrier around you. If I can shield you from an accident you didn't even see coming, can I not shield you from the consequences of this financial storm? I am weaving a tapestry of provision that you cannot yet see. I am moving hearts, opening eyes, and aligning circumstances in your favor. You see a mountain of debt. I see a platform for my glory to be revealed. Do not compare your journey to the filtered lives of others. Their path is not yours, and their provision is not yours. I have a bespoke blessing for you, tailored to your needs and your growth. I am your father, and what father among you, if his child asks for bread, will give him a stone? If you then, being human, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will I, your heavenly Father, give what is good to those who ask me? Ask me. Not with the frantic energy of a beggar, but with the quiet confidence of a child who knows their father is the king. Your worth is a fixed constant, established before the foundations of the world. It is not a variable that fluctuates with the market. You are precious. You are honored. You are my beloved. The shiver you felt was a reminder that the spiritual realm is more real than the physical one you are so worried about. The spiritual reality is that you are already supplied. You are already whole. You are already free. Walk in that freedom today. Let the weight of the not enough fall away as you embrace the more than enough of my grace. I am your provider, and I have never once failed to sustain the ones who call upon my name. Rest now. Your debts do not define you, my love does. And within that love, there is a sanctuary where the cold wind of isolation cannot reach you. You often mistake silence for absence and distance for abandonment, but I am here to tell you that the void you fear does not exist. That shiver you felt while driving, that sudden ripple across your skin that made you sit a little straighter and breathe a little deeper, that was the movement of my spirit, a physical echo of a spiritual reality. You are not alone in that car. You are never alone in any room, on any path, or in any valley of shadow. The world has sold you the lie of loneliness, painting a picture of a life where you must navigate the complexities of existence by your own wit and strength. But I am the silent listener to every prayer you have ever breathed, and more importantly, I am the listener to every sigh you thought was lost to the wind. Think of those moments when the weight of life becomes too heavy for words. You sit in your car, the engine idling, or perhaps you are cruising down a familiar road, and suddenly a sigh escapes your lips, a sigh of exhaustion, of longing, or of quiet despair. You think that sigh disappears into the upholstery, but I tell you, it rises to my ears as a profound petition. I hear the unspoken. I hear the cracks in your voice and the pauses in your thoughts. My spirit dwells within the very fabric of the space that surrounds you. It is the medium through which you move. You are like a fish in the ocean, wondering where the water is. You are submerged in my presence, enveloped by my grace, and held by my hand. The shiver you felt was simply a moment where your physical senses caught up to the spiritual atmosphere that always surrounds you. It was my angel, sent to guard your way, brushing against your consciousness to remind you that the invisible world is far more substantial than the one you see through your windshield. You are my most precious creation, and because of that, I am your most intimate companion. There is no thought you harbor that I do not understand, and no fear you carry that I have not already seen. I do not stand at a distance, watching you from a throne far beyond the stars. I am the breath in your lungs. I am the warmth in your chest. I am the still, small voice that whispers peace when the storms of life begin to howl. When you feel the sting of loneliness, it is often because you have forgotten to look at the space right next to you. You look for me in the grand gestures, in the miracles that part the seas, but I am most often found in the quiet, mundane moments, in the humming of the tires on the pavement, in the rhythmic pattern of the rain, in the silence of a house at midnight. I have tailored my presence to fit the contours of your soul. I know the specific ways you need to be comforted. For some, I am a pillar of fire. For you, in that moment of the shiver, I was a gentle shield. I saw the danger you didn't see. I saw the distraction that could have been your undoing. And I sent my messenger to nudge you, to wake you, to let you know that I am the watchman who never slumbers. You are the object of my constant attention. The lie of loneliness tries to convince you that you are a solitary actor on a vast stage, but the truth is that the theater is full, and the director is walking beside you, guiding your every step. Consider the space between your hand and the steering wheel, or the air between you and the door of your home. To the human eye, it is empty. To the spirit, it is a bustling highway of my providence. There are melodies of heaven playing in the frequencies you cannot yet hear, and there are movements of grace occurring in the milliseconds between your heartbeats. I am not just with you. I am for you, and I am in you. When you feel that sudden coldness or that inexplicable warmth, you are experiencing the friction of the divine meeting the temporal. I am your most intimate companion because I do not judge the parts of you that you hide from the world. I am the one who sees the secret shames and the hidden hopes, and I love you more for having seen them. I am the listener who never grows tired of your stories, even the ones you tell yourself over and over again. I am the friend who stays when everyone else has departed. Your loneliness is a guest that I am asking you to evict, for it has no right to dwell in a heart that is already my home. The shiver was a knock at the door, a reminder that I am standing right there, waiting for you to acknowledge that we are in this together. You are never walking a solitary path. Even when you feel you have wandered into a wilderness, I am the cloud by day and the fire by night. I am the manna that appears when your own resources are spent. Trust the shiver. Trust the silence. Trust that in the vastness of my creation, you are the focus of my gaze. You are the one I have chosen to walk with, to talk with, and to protect with an army of angels you cannot see but whose presence you can certainly feel. You are seen. You are known. You are infinitely accompanied. There is no distance between us that I have not already bridged. Rest in the knowledge that you are tucked safely into the palm of my hand, and that every moment of your existence is witnessed by a Father who adores you. You are never, ever alone. But my protection does not end when you pull into your driveway and turn off the engine. That shiver you felt behind the wheel, that sudden awareness of a presence larger than your own, followed you through the door and settled into the very rafters of your home. You see, your dwelling is more than just a structure of wood, brick, and glass. It is a sanctuary I have marked as my own. As you cross the threshold and lay down the keys of your journey, know that my watch remains steadfast. I am the architect who knows every corner of your refuge, and I have stationed my legions at your gates. They do not sleep as you sleep. They do not tire as you tire. They stand with unsheathed light at your doorway, a celestial guard that ensures the peace I have given you remains undisturbed. You may look at your front door and see only a piece of timber and a lock, but I see a portal where my grace enters and where the darkness is told. This far and no further. Even when the world outside feels heavy with shadows, even when the news of the day brings a chill of uncertainty to the air, your home is enveloped in a light that no darkness can overcome. It is a bubble of my providence, a pocket of eternity set within time. When you walk from room to room, the air you breathe is filtered through my love. That sudden, inexplicable sense of calm that washes over you while you are doing the most mundane tasks, washing the dishes, folding the laundry, or simply sitting in silence, that is the vibration of my presence. It is the resonance of my legion standing guard over your peace. I have surrounded your perimeter with a wall of fire that the enemy cannot scale. I have placed an angel at every window and a sentinel at every entrance. You are not just living in a house. You are residing within the fortress of my favor. There are moments when you might feel a sudden breeze in a closed room, or a prickle of warmth when the night is cold. Do not dismiss these as mere coincidences of the physical world. They are the brush of a wing, the movement of a great protector ensuring that your rest is holy. I am mindful of every shadow that tries to creep across your heart, and I dispel them with a single thought of my light. When the night falls and the world grows quiet, do not let the silence frighten you. The silence is my canvas. In the stillness, my protection is most profound. I am the watchman who never slumbers, the father who sits by your bedside while you drift into the vulnerability of sleep. My legions are not just there to keep physical harm at bay. They are there to shield your mind from the arrows of anxiety and the weight of tomorrow's worries. They are there to remind your spirit that you are cherished beyond measure. Even if the foundations of the world seem to shake, your spiritual home remains unshakable because it is anchored in me. I have seen the tears you have shed in the privacy of your rooms, and I have gathered them all. Not one is lost to me. I have heard the whispered prayers you thought went no further than the ceiling, but I tell you, they reached the very heights of my throne before you even finished speaking them. Your home is a theater of my grace. Do not fear the darkness of the age, for it has no authority over the child of the king. You are shielded by a light that is ancient and unquenchable. The same power that holds the stars in their courses is the power that keeps watch over your front porch. You are safe. You are secure. You are hidden in the secret place of the Most High, even while you go about your daily life. Let the shiver you felt on the road be a lasting testimony that I am with you in every transition, from the chaos of the highway to the quiet of your hearth. My love is the atmosphere of your home, and my strength is its foundation. Rest now, my child, and let the awareness of my heavenly hosts bring a deep, abiding comfort to your soul. You are guarded by an army that has never known defeat, and you are loved by a Father who will never let you go. Every inch of your space is saturated with my light, and in that light, you are eternally protected. Yet even within the walls I have fortified, I see the quiet tension that still resides within your spirit. You have found shelter, but your hands are still clenched, as if the burden of your future rests solely upon the strength of your own fingers. I watched you that day on the road, your eyes fixed on the asphalt, your mind racing through 1,000 scenarios, trying to map out a destination that only I can see. You grip the steering wheel of your life with a fierce intensity, fearing that a single moment of relaxation will lead to a catastrophic detour. But child, do you not realize that even when your hands were at their tightest, it was my hand that moved yours? That shiver that coursed through your body was not merely a reaction to the unseen danger. It was an invitation to release the white-knuckled grip you have maintained for so long. You have spent years trying to navigate the complex intersections of your destiny, believing that if you could only predict the next turn, you would finally find peace. But peace is not found in the prediction of the path. It is found in the presence of the navigator. I invite you now to loosen your hold. Let the tension drain from your shoulders. Your destiny is not a puzzle you must solve, but a journey we are walking together. Every winding road that seems to take you further from your goals is, in my eyes, a necessary curve that avoids a pitfall you cannot see. My navigation is not bound by the limitations of your perspective. I see the end from the beginning, and I see the beauty of the landscape even when you only see the fog. The struggle to control is an exhausting labor, a weight I never intended for you to carry. You fear that if you let go, everything will fall apart. But I am the one who holds all things together. Your surrender is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate act of trust. It is the moment you step out of the driver's seat and realize that I have always been the one providing the fuel, the direction, and the destination. When you stop fighting the flow of my will, you will find a stillness that no storm can disturb. This is the gateway to my peace, the recognition that you are not the master of your fate, but the beloved child of the master of the universe. Let the memory of that angel's touch, that sudden shiver on the highway, remind you that my protection is constant and my guidance is unerring. You do not have to fight for your future, for I have already secured it. You do not have to map out your salvation, for I am the way. In the quiet of this moment, feel the release of your burdens. Imagine your hands opening, palms upward, ready to receive what I have prepared rather than grasping for what you think you need. There is a profound freedom in admitting that you do not know the way, for it allows me to lead you through the green pastures and beside the still waters I have promised. The path may seem long, and the turns may seem sharp, but you are never off course. You are exactly where you need to be to learn the rhythm of my grace. Trust in the invisible hand that steered you through the moment of danger. Trust that the same hand is steering you now, through the mundane, through the miraculous, and through the unknown. The gateway is open. Step through it into the rest that only comes when you finally, fully, let go. I am not asking you to abandon your responsibilities, but to abandon the anxiety that you are alone in them. The road ahead is not a threat. It is an unfolding of my glory in your life. Every hill you climb and every valley you traverse is under my sovereignty. When the road bends and you lose sight of what lies ahead, remember the shiver. Remember that even when you felt most vulnerable, I was most present. I am the architect of the curves and the author of the straightaways. Your life is not a series of accidents, but a carefully choreographed dance of my providence. Let the breath you just took be a sigh of relief. Let the weight you have been carrying drop to the floor. You are not meant to lead. You are meant to be led. And I, your father, am a perfect leader. Rest in the knowledge that my plans for you are good, to give you a future and a hope that far exceeds the narrow maps you have drawn for yourself. The gateway of surrender leads to the expansive fields of my favor. Walk through it now. As you step into these fields of my favor, do not look back at the dust clouds of your past with eyes of condemnation. That shiver you felt in the driver's seat, the one that made your hands tighten on the wheel and your breath catch in your throat, was not merely a shield against a physical collision. It was my mercy intervening in the collision of your soul. For I see how you drive through life with one eye on the rearview mirror, obsessed with the wreckage of your own making, haunted by the ghosts of who you used to be. I am here to tell you that I have cleared the wreckage. The road behind you is not a graveyard of your mistakes. It is a testimony of my endurance. I know the weight of the trauma you carry, the silent screams of the what-ifs that echo in the quiet moments of your commute. You feel as though your past is an anchor, dragging you back into the depths of your unworthiness. But my grace is not a shallow puddle. It is a vast and rushing river, ancient and ever new, flowing with the specific purpose of washing you clean. It does not just rinse the surface, it penetrates the marrow. It flows into the hidden crevices of your shame, into the rooms of your heart you have locked away because you find them too ugly to show me. My child, there is nothing in your history that can withstand the current of my love. I see you as whole. I see you as perfect. This is not a blind love, but a seeing love. I see everything you have done, and I see who you truly are beneath it all, and I declare that you are my delight. You think your failures have disqualified you from the future I have promised, but you do not understand the architecture of my kingdom. I do not build on the foundation of your perfection. I build on the foundation of my own. The shiver was my hand reaching through the veil of time and space to steady your trembling heart, to tell you that the debt is paid and the slate is white. The trauma that haunts your nights and the regrets that color your days are being dissolved in the heat of my affection. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are not the product of the things done to you or the things you have done. You are the product of my intentional thought, a poem I am still writing. The past does not hold the pen, I do. And the ink I use is the blood of my own sacrifice, which never runs dry and never fades. Let the river take it all. Every bitter word, every compromise, every moment where you felt you had lost your way forever, give it to the water. See it being carried away, further and further, until it is lost in the ocean of my forgetfulness. I choose not to remember what I have forgiven. Why do you insist on remembering what I have forgotten? The road ahead is wide and clear. The future I have written for you is not a correction of your past, but a continuation of my grace. It is a new landscape, unscarred by the battles you have lost. Do you hear the sound of the water? It is the sound of my spirit moving over the chaos of your internal world, speaking, "Peace, be still." The turbulence you have felt is the old nature trying to reclaim a territory that now belongs to the light. The enemy of your soul wants you to believe that the shiver was a sign of your fragility, but I tell you it was a sign of my fortress surrounding you. You are not fragile when you are hidden in me. You are indestructible until my purpose for you is complete. Consider the way a river smooths the jagged edges of a stone. It does not happen in a single moment of violence, but through a constant, unrelenting embrace. That is how my grace is working on your trauma. I am smoothing the sharp corners of your memory. I am softening the hardness that was built up as a defense mechanism. You no longer need to be hard to survive, for I am your shield. You no longer need to be perfect to be loved, for my love is the very thing that perfects you. The narrow maps you drew for yourself were limited by your fear, but my map for you is limited only by my power. Every mile you drive from this moment forward is a mile deeper into my heart. The past is a shadow that vanishes when the sun is at its zenith, and I am the sun of righteousness rising over your life with healing in my wings. Your future is a vibrant tapestry, woven with threads of gold and crimson, telling a story of redemption that will cause the heavens to marvel. Do not look back. The pillar of fire is ahead of you, and the cloud of my presence is over you. You are safe. You are forgiven. You are new.